And guys, I'm sharing the screen. Just a minute. I'm sharing the screen. Mhm.
అమ్మకు ఎంతమంది వస్తే అంతమందిని అట్టంగా నరికేస్తా. నచ్చావు, బాగా నచ్చావు. లోపలికి వెళ్ళండి. నేను పొద్దున అన్నాను ఒకటే. వాళ్ళ గురించి నువ్వు
I'm
నేను
not
కొత్త
able to
చెప్పేసి
see that participant.
నేను పెళ్లిలో కొట్టానమ్మా.
Guys, please
గట్టిగా
be
కొట్టాను.
muted. Please be muted. I'm not able to see the participant. Like who is unmuted? I can't see. Please be muted, guys. Yeah, okay. Right. So let me know if you're able to see my screen, guys. Right. You're able to see my screen, right, guys? You're able to hear me, right?
Yes, Shanmugh.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So yeah, tell me, guys, any questions, any doubts? So in the morning session we discussed, right? So we discussed related to the course. Hari, any questions, please? Any questions, any doubts? Hari Shankar?
No. Still, I understand everything.
Okay.
No questions.
So you joined from 2 devices, Hari Shankar?
Yes. Actually, I am unable to contact you through the desktop, so I'm logging on that tablet as well.
Okay, fine.
I
So
can.
what is the issue? Why you're not able to send messages in the desktop version?
So I cannot talk to you on audio. There is no sound card in the.
Oh, okay. There is no sound card. Okay, got it.
Actually, I'm taking this class through my company desktop, so there is no sound card.
Oh, okay. Fine. Got it. Guys, one more thing I just want to update you. Like few people again, they didn't selected that join audio. Let me update them. 1 minute, guys. Please click on the join audio. Okay, so that you can hear me. You can hear me. Right. If you don't have questions, okay, please be muted, guys. So yeah, I don't know the participant. Harishankar, please don't unmute. If you have any questions, you can unmute and let me know. Otherwise, you can be in mute. Okay, I'm getting disturbance. And apart from Harishankar, someone is unmuted, but I can't see his name in the participants list.
I think Devi.
Devi, huh? Okay, let me mute. I don't even see that. This one also. Devi, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Fine, guys. Okay, let's jump into the session. So in the morning we discussed about the SQL DBA training overview, guys. So what is SQL Server? A simple definition: SQL Server is an database software. SQL Server is a database software. So using this database software, we can store the data, we can process the data, and we can retrieve the data. Very good, Sunita. So where we are going to use this application, guys? Any idea where we are going to use this application? So where we will use this application?
On the Windows server or operating system?
No, no, no.
In a
Not
database.
I'm like I'm not asking where we will install this application, where we are going to use this application.
In production.
We use to
In product-
put
In
the
a app.
data in the hard drive.
For to access the
Backend
users from the
application.
Fine, very good, Gopinath. Okay, so some people are saying in the production, some people are saying on the servers. Okay, that's not exactly not only in the production, in the non-production also we'll use database servers, right? So the answer is we'll use the software as a backend application, backend database for any applications. Okay, we'll use SQL Server software as a backend database softwares for any of the applications. Okay, so these are the main two things that you have to keep in mind. SQL Server is a database software. Using this software, we can store the data, we can process the data, we can retrieve the data, and this will be used as a backend database software for any of the applications. So like SQL Server, we have many database softwares guys in the market. We have Oracle, we have MySQL, we have NoSQL, we have
MongoDB.
MongoDB, Postgres. Yes, very good, Sunita. We have MongoDB, we have Postgres. So like that, we have multiple database softwares in the industry. And why SQL Server is very simple, guys. Uh, how many of you are from Oracle side, guys? At least one, two people will be there for every batch, Oracle DBS. Any Oracle DBA is there in this list in the participants? Any Oracle DBA, guys? Okay, good. If no Oracle DBA, that will be fine. Generally, Oracle DBAs are from other DB technologies. People will try compare and learn the things. That's good in something, in some aspects and all, in some concepts and all, but it's not always good to compare and learn. So sometimes Oracle DBAs will join the classes and they will keep comparing the Oracle and SQL Server. Okay, so it depends upon the design of the software. Oracle might be designed in a different way, SQL Server is designed in a different way. So as per the particular concept, if you are working on Oracle or any other database technology, compare and learn and compare the main points of that particular concept. Okay, so if they are similar to the Oracle, that will be fine. If they are not similar, Shanmukh, why this is like that in the Oracle like this, right? So depends upon the database software, the design also will be different. Okay, so that's how, in case if anyone from other database technology, just okay, you can apply the comparison, but again, depends upon the particular concept, depends upon the particular feature and all. Fine. So we are discussing about the data. Good evening, Kushi. So what is data, guys? What is
Collection
data?
of raw facts, sir.
Very good, Sunita. Super. So as a DBA, you should know the importance of the data, guys. Again, I'm saying whether you know it or not, you should know the importance of the data. Generally, we'll go outside, right? When we go to any shopping mall, we'll keep giving our mobile numbers. If you go to any, at least if you go to saloon shop also, they will ask the mobile numbers. They will keep sending all the oils information, products information and all. Guys, nowadays, in the 21st century, in the 20th century also, data is the wealth. When we are discussing, right, so now the time is 7:22 p.m. Believe me, now also some people are selling your data. When we are in the class also, when we are discussing this point also, your data is like going into multiple hands. So if you have data, you can do lot of things, guys. You can improve your business and all. So earlier, like generally, if there is any down, like if the sales are down in a particular area, generally earlier before this, not in this SMS and all, before that, generally what happened is they used to like give the ads and all in the newspapers. They used to give banner ads, which will be very costly. They used to give like TV ads and all, which will be costly. So if the sales are down in a particular region also, to improve the sales, they used to give national wide ads, international wide ads, like TV ads, paper ads. So lot of money they used to spend. Nowadays, if you go to any more supermarket, if you go to any Reliance, okay, Reliance Fresh and all, generally if you can see, they are going to collect our data. So what they are doing with our data, guys? Very simple. They are going to analyze the data. They are going to process the data. Okay, this guy last month they took okay this many items. Okay, then if you are not coming frequently, they are going to give you customized offers. They are going to give you a customized offers. Like as they have your data, they will keep sending the customized offers and all. So they are saving lot of money. So wherever you go, please try avoid giving the numbers. As a DBA, from this minute onwards, you should know the importance of your personal data. So if it is normal Reliance Fresh and all, that's fine. But what happened? You don't know exactly your numbers. They are selling it to the spam, like the scammers. Scammers are collecting your numbers. We don't know once the number is like the details are out, we don't know where it will go. Scammers are collecting your data. They have your personal data. They are going to do some permutations and combinations and they are going to keep sending SMS and all with malicious links and all. So you don't know the value of your data. It can cost like anything. You can see in the newspapers, people are losing 1 crore, 2 crores. Okay, as they're unknowingly they're clicking on the links, as they're unknowingly like they are started getting the calls and all. Like if you see recently nowadays, at least daily you'll get one call, like your FedEx parcel is blocked at customs. Okay, you have to like call to this number, or you because of the unlimited usage of your mobile number, try blocked your number. These are all like scammers, guys. Scammers keep on sending the data, keep on sending the messages and all. So you are aware of it, but in the villages and all, they don't know. So suddenly they will again call back and all. They are losing lot of money, lakhs, crores, even India-wide, national-wide, international-wide. Scammers are looting like anything. It's a kind of a budget of a mini country, a small country, guys. That much amount they are looting. So don't give your number, don't give your personal data to anyone. They will have their own numbers, guys. Reject them. Okay, no boss, no, not required. Okay, they are going to give their outlet number and all, or they will give some default number and all. Simply reject it, guys. It's not like a single number. You don't think your mobile number is not a single number. They can attack you in many ways. Okay, so that's how the data is that much of important, guys. Nowadays, very important the data. So you should know the importance of the data as a DBA, guys. Okay, so now data, what is the meaning of data, guys? Generally, the definition is raw facts and figures is called data. Okay, what is the definition of the data?
Facts
Raw
and figures.
facts and figures
Figures.
is called data. Guys, no one will ask you what is data and all. This is like a basics that you have to learn. No one will ask you in the interview, hey, Shanmukh, what is data? Can you tell me what is database? They don't ask all these questions and all. This is just the basics that you have to learn. So if you see here, you can see raw data, right? This raw data. So you can see on the screen. So 10,000, like it just started with the 10,000. Mahesh, IT, then you can see IT, and then you can see Puram. Someone is asked, what is this Kapuram? This is not Kapuram. Puram is an area in the Bangalore. Puram, ABC apartments. So 10,000 Mahesh, IT, Puram,
Urvi,
and ABC. So if you just look at this data, okay, are you able to understand anything, guys? If you just look at the data, like, are you able to understand anything? You can see one name, Mahesh, maybe. You can see maybe an area name and all. So just if you see the data, you don't understand anything, guys. Okay? If you process the data, that will be an information.
information.
What is it, guys? What is an information? So a
Process of
processed
data.
data is called information, guys. Processed data is called information. Okay, processed data is called information, guys. So what is meant by processing? How we are going to process it, guys? Processing can be adding attributes. Okay, adding attributes is also called as, okay, called as processing, guys. Processing. So adding attributes, till now we don't know what is 10,000. We don't know what is IT. We don't know like what is this and all. We just know 10,000 and we just know the name. Like if you just look at a normal way, you can see this is a 10,000, but what is this 10,000? Is it a record ID or what is this? Mahesh, you know that is a name. And what is this IT, Puram, ABC apartments and all? I'm just adding one attribute here. I'm just adding, okay, what I can say. Um, 1 minute. Where is that? Ah, if you see here, so I just added some attributes like columns. I just tried adding this. So employee ID 1 and employee name Mahesh. For the same, I just segregated. I just added some attributes. Okay, just meaning to the data. And that IT, I just added as a department. And ABC Apartments KR is an address. And the 10,000 is your salary. So if you just look at these figures, you don't understand anything, guys. It's a raw data. And if you just look at this table, you can see, okay, Mahesh is an employee name. This is actually a Mahesh record. Mahesh is an employee name. And this is a department, like he is working under IT department. And his address is ABC Apartments, KR Puram. And his salary is 10,000. Okay, so you can able to understand what I did here. Simply, I just added some attributes here. Attributes in the sense, I just tried giving the meaning of this particular record by just adding some columns, guys. So this can be a processing, guys. So what SQL Server will do, it is going to process the data by adding some attributes. It is going to process the data by adding some attributes. So that is the difference between data and information, guys. Okay, so now we are using databases, guys, to store the data and all. Before databases, where we use it to store the data? Before databases, where we used to store the data, guys?
CDs.
Registers.
Flat
Hard
files,
drives.
Excel.
Cassettes.
Very good,
Records.
very good. We have Excel sheets, we have flat files. Before to that, guys, once you're like you said the answer, you can be in mute, okay? You can store the data. Earlier, we used to store the data in the flat files, CSV files, comma separated values, CSV files. And before to that, where we used to store the data? Generally, now also we are storing, but before where there is no flat files and all, where there is no system, we used to store the data on papers. Now also we are storing papers. Before to the papers, guys, where we used to store the on the leaves, on the stones, right? So these are all different ways of storing the data, guys. Modes, we have to remember one thing: media and mode. Media means which device you are using to store the data. Mode means how you are storing the data, in what format you are storing the data. So we just started, okay, storing the data on stones, leaves, papers, even cloths also. On the cloth also we used to store the data. And then papers. And then we have systems. In the systems, we started using application softwares like flat files, CSV files, okay, notepads, Excel sheets. Excel sheet is also an excellent database software, guys. By using Excel sheet, I can store the data. By using Excel sheet, I can process the data, right? You can process the data, you can add attributes, you can add columns, you can do a lot of things on that particular data. You can add the data, you can multiply, you can subtract, you can do a lot of things. You can present also, you can using Excel sheet, you can also present the data with beautiful reports and all. So Excel sheet is also a good database software, guys. Then Shanmukh, why we are not using Excel sheet? Why this headache? Why we have to use databases? We can directly use Excel sheet only, right, to store the data, right? Is it a valid question, guys? Why we are using this database technology? We can directly use Excel sheet, right? Everyone knows Excel sheet. Excel, at least we have a basic idea of Excel. Why? If you just go back, generally the phones that we are using now, some people are using 128 GB phones, some people are using 64 GB, 256 GB phones storage, and the 512 GB storage phones, and people are using 8 GB RAM phones, 16 GB RAM phones also people are using nowadays. But before to that, how the phone started, guys? 256 KB. It just started with the 256 KB of storage. In the late 90s or 2000, it just a phone just started with a 256 KB of data, means it can store only 256 KB. Then 512, then slowly it became 1 GB phones, then 2 GB phones, then 4 GB phones, then 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. Like, not it didn't take lot of time, guys. From 2000, if you calculate, every 2 3 years the capacity is increasing. 16 GB phones are very big phones during that days, but 16 GB is nothing nowadays. Correct? 32 GB is also nothing nowadays. 64 GB is also nothing nowadays. Minimum 128 GB phones we need. Why? We are processing lot of data. We are generating lot of data. We are generating lot of data. So 16 GB, 32 GB is not sufficient for us now for our daily usage. If you are using 16, 32 GB in 2 3 months itself, it will be full. So now we are using 128 GB, normal, common. Maybe in future, maybe in the next year or next year, it will be 256 GB is common phone. They will have, like everyone will have 256 GB common phone. Then 512 GB. So the data is like a vast, guys. Lot of data you are producing. How to manage this much of data? Right, nowadays everyone, like, minimum to minimum in a house 4 5 YouTube channels are there. We are watching YouTube shorts like anything. We are watching reels like anything. Do you know, guys, if you watch the videos, it will create a pollution. Do you know that? What pollution it will create? Tell me. Do you know this point?
Radiation.
Radiation. Very good. Next, if you watch the videos, it will create lot of pollution, guys. How it will create a pollution? Tell me. Any idea? Just try, go back and just check how the video will be processed, and if you just think in that way, definitely you'll get an answer, guys.
More
If you
energy
watch
usage?
very good, Anila. Good. Almost closer to the answer. Guys, when you are watching, everyone, if you see in the home, while eating, you are watching shorts. Okay, while going to washroom, you are watching the shorts. While doing anything, you are watching shorts. Nowadays, it's normal, okay, watching the shorts, reels, and all. But believe me, to generate that video, that high quality resolution video in every phone, how many servers will work in the back end, guys? How many servers will work? How many, how much of energy we need? How much of cooling system we need? How much e-waste will be generated in the back end? How many hard disks will run in the back end? Are you getting the point, guys? If you watch the video also, it will create a pollution, guys. It will create pollution. See, these are all like how much heat it will generate if these many people, these many videos, every minute, one video, if you are keep on watching, so unknowingly in the back end, lot of servers are struggling to push that video, okay, and then it is going to those devices and all going to generate lot of heat to the environment, lot of e-waste it is going to generate, guys. So watching videos also is going to create a pollution. Memory, yes. So nowadays, the 64 GB, 128 GB phones are very common. Why? Because we are generating that much of data. We are generating that much of data. It's very common. Excel sheet is also an excellent database software, but why we don't use? Earlier we used to use notepads only. Then Excel sheet came into the picture. Why? Because data is increasing. If you see, normal Excel sheet will open within fraction of seconds. If you load a data Excel sheet with 1 GB of data, how much time it will take? If the same Excel the sheet is like having 2 GB or 4 GB, it will take lot of time. So searching will take lot of time. Processing will take lot of time. So Excel sheets are not suitable, okay, for any application as a backend software. Then databases came into the picture, guys. For now, databases can manage the heavy workloads also. Okay, so this is how, like, we have databases, guys. In future, what will be invented, we don't know. What we will get, we don't know. But for now, we are using databases. The same databases can be extended. It shouldn't be like before databases we used to use Excel sheets. Now databases came. Since 20 years we are working with the databases. Next 20 years we don't know which mechanism will come. So this is how it will be, guys. This is how it will be. So the data processing in the sense, okay, so adding attributes and giving some meaning to that particular data, okay, is called once you added any attributes, like the adding of attributes is called data processing. And once the data is like a converted, once you added some attributes to the data, the processed data we can call it as an information, guys. We can call it as an information. So if you see here, is that it is so fast. Okay, and what minute? Window shift, not window shift S. Snipping. Guys, so if I just show you this diagram, can you understand anything, guys? I don't know how many of you observed that screen, the previous screenshot. Can you understand anything? Just 51, 77, 58, 82, 64, 70.
Now it's just
Are you
a
getting?
well,
No, right? We can't understand, right? You can see those are just looking like numbers, some numbers and all. So you can, like, we don't know, we can imagine anything, guys. Okay, so for now, these are just numbers. There is no meaning. This is your raw data, guys. This is your raw data. And what we did, right? We just added some attributes. We just added some context to this data. Okay, what context we just added, guys? These are the test scores achieved by the students. Now you get to know these are the marks, guys. Okay, now these are the marks. Once you know that these are the marks, immediately what you will get in your mind, guys? Immediately the next point will be, if you know that these are the marks, immediately what you will get, what you are looking for exactly, who got the highest marks, right? Who got the least marks, and what is the average mark, and who are below average, who are above average. This is called processing, guys. This is called processing. So using SQL, guys, we don't do any processing and all manually, just trying to explain the processing context, these kind of things. We don't do any processing. So as a DBA, the data will be inserted into the database. So we have to make sure, okay, there will be no issues from the database side. We have to make sure that data is available continuously for the end users and for the application also. Okay, so this is how the data and information will be managed, guys. Okay, so data is raw facts and figures, whereas a processed data you can call it as an information, guys. A processed data we can call it as an information. Now we just discussed it till now. We discussed where we are storing the data, like Excel sheets, databases, papers, something. Now, how we are storing the data? We have to discuss how we are storing the data, guys. In what way we are storing the data? In what format we are storing the data? Okay, that is also very important to handle the huge data. The format of the data is also very important. So if you like, if you're storing the data in a better way, better format, like you can see, guys, generally, in a home, generally, ladies, okay, wives will be like very responsible. They are going to organize the things properly. Everything they will organize the things properly. It's actually good, so that they can easily, okay, retry the things whenever they need. Boys, what they will do? They will simply come out and they will take the keys. They will just throw it away. That's it. We don't know where we are keeping our bike keys. Now that's not an issue. Later, if we are going outside, we will spend 30 minutes to 1 hour to search that keys. That means what? If you are organizing the things properly, it is easy to retrieve, guys. If you are not organizing, somewhere you are keeping, and again you have to spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes, okay, to again retrieve the same thing. So it's waste of our time. So using the database softwares, the mechanism that we are using, okay, to organize the data, so that mechanism is called database management system, DBMS. What is that, guys? DBMS. So all the database softwares will follow this concept, database management system. Means it will tell you how you are storing the data. and how you are retrieving the data. That is called database management system, guys. Database management system. So like on the paper, if you are writing something on the paper, generally we'll write, okay, so if you are writing a running notes, generally we can see on a single page we will include lot of things, running notes, right? Running notes in the sense you can understand only your running notes, you cannot understand others running notes, right? Like it's also kind of a doctor prescription only, you can only understand your running notes. In the same way, I can understand my running notes. Why? Because that is the shortcuts that we will use to store the data in a better way. That you can easily understand. You know that you are habituated for that format, right? But the organized way of writing the notes is a different thing, right? If you are writing the notes in a proper way, in a better way, for every page number, content, topic, ID, whatever subheadings and all, you can easily retrieve the data. You can easily, everyone can understand the data. So here also, in the Excel sheet, we will store the data in a different way. In the databases, we'll store the data in a different way. So in different softwares, the way that you are storing the data, okay, so that will be different based on the technologies, guys. Based on the technologies, if you go for this notepad, we'll store the data in a different way, normal plain format, okay, way. So this is how the data will manage it. So how you are storing the data, how you are managing the data, that will be defined by your DBMS system. So all the database softwares has to follow the DBMS, guys. DBMS, database management system. So what is this DBMS format, guys? The data will be
Stored
stored
in table format.
in the form of, very good, in the form of tables. For now, table format is the easiest format to retrieve the data. For now, for this much of data, the data that we are handling on a daily basis, okay, to retrieve the data quickly, for now we are using a tabular format, guys. We are using a tabular format. Means what? The data will be stored in the form of tables. The data will be stored in the form of tables. So you know, right? Say for example, okay. So I'm just opening an Excel sheet for the just for an example. Let's try to create a student table, guys. We'll create a student table. So now, if we are creating the student table, what and all details we are going to track it? Tell me, guys.
Student
Initially, we'll go with
number,
the student ID. Very good. Number or
student
ID. Very
ID,
good. Next.
student name,
Next. Very good. Name. Next.
Joining
student
date,
student address,
Joining date. Okay. Joining date. Very
father's
good.
name,
Address.
father's name,
Father's name. Very good.
blood group
home,
of the student,
Very good. Super. Blood
Contact
group.
details.
Blood group. Okay. Very good. Contact details. Very good.
which class,
Which class? Okay. Good. Which class? Okay. Next.
roll number,
Roll number. Yes, we have added ID or roll
roll
number. We have added. Next. Yes. Yes. Roll number we have added. ID or roll number. Anything is fine. Next.
marks, grade,
Marks. Grade. Very good. Next.
fees,
Fees. Very important. I like this column. Next.
percentage
Next,
of the
guys.
attendance percentage,
Very good. Very good. Attendance.
gender,
Gender. Super. Gender. Next. Next, guys, like that we can keep on tracking, we can keep on like adding the columns and all, okay. Date of birth, date of joining, fees, grade, address, okay. Moles, for example, if you want to track moles and all, okay, just for the identification purpose, moles. Marks, again if you go for the marks, again we can track for each subject, like we can track all the marks and all. We can track the address, we can contact emergency contact number, parents contact number, like that you can keep on adding the attributes. So
Date
that
of
if you
birth.
keep on adding the attributes, yeah, date of birth very important, we missed that, DOB, right? So if you are keep on adding the columns, what will happen, guys? The table size will be big, right? The table size will be increased, right? Yes. So what will happen if we want to retrieve the data, while retrieving, the whole data has to be loaded into the RAM memory. So if the table size is big, it will be difficult to retrieve the data quickly, one thing, and security wise also, everyone can see every data, everything they can see, fees everyone can see, data but they can see. Okay, so like if it is employee record, employee salaries, your salary, everyone can see your salary, which is not at all correct, guys. So storing the data in the form of tables generally, okay, is your database management system. Okay, so before this RDBMS, there is one more word called RDBMS. RDBMS. What is this, guys? Relational
Relational
National
database
database
management
Database
system.
Management System.
management system. Very good, very good. So before RDBMS, yeah, before RDBMS, we used to store the data same in the same format, but in the RDBMS, what EF card? Who is that, guys? Professor EF
EF,
card.
father of the RDBMS.
So very good. He's the father of the RDBMS, guys. What he proposed, okay, whatever things that you are storing in the table format, that's good. But because of this big tables and all, it might create some performance issues while loading the data, while processing the data, and security wise also, it's not good. Let's do one thing. Let's divide this big table into small tables. Okay, so now if you see here, student ID, name, address, okay, father's name, everyone can see. And we can create one more table with the fees, student ID again with a common column. We don't have any, if you go to any board exams, you can see your roll number, you don't see your name. I mean to say, you in the on the answer sheet, you are going to enter your roll number only. You are not going to enter any of the personal details. Okay, student ID, fees, first installment, second installment, I can track it. And remaining other things, gender, date of birth, okay, I can easily track it using different small tables, guys, date of joining and all, okay, moles and all. So I can, while loading these tables into the memory, it's small tables, we can easily load into the memory in the sense your RAM, which will help you to process the data. And even I can create a security on each table. So this table I can only give access to the administrative, like those who are taking care of the fee part and all. Only for the administrative staff I'm going to give the access to this table. Only for the cashier I'll give the access to this table, so that he is going to enter the details and all. And this table again depends upon the particular, okay, roles and responsibility of that particular employee, the backend staff. I'll give access to this particular table for the backend staff. So I can secure the data, one thing, and as the tables are small, the data processing and the loading and all will be done easily, guys. So EF card proposed this method. So before to the EF card RDBMS model, we used to have a DBMS model where we used to dump everything in a single table. Okay, later it was like extended to RDBMS. So in the RDBMS relational, why it is called relational, guys? What is the difference between DBMS and RDBMS? Only thing is relational. So in the relational database model, the tables will be separated into small tables, and again with a common column. See here, student ID, student id, student id. So using this common column, I can easily track the particular record. So I'm creating a relationship using the common column, guys. I'm creating a relationship using the common column. So that is called relational database management system. So using the SQL Server, using the RDBMS method. So again, guys, RDBMS and DBMS is the way how you are storing the data in a database. Okay, RDBMS or DBMS, both are the ways, the format how you are storing the data in a database, guys. This is called an RDBMS system. So a lot of things are there for RDBMS, but basic things we have to know. That is enough. No one will ask you again what is RDBMS. Tell me, we are not attending as a freshers. Okay, you are going to, okay, start your career with a 4 years, 5 years, or 2 years at least, based on your gap and all, you are going to try. So no one will, again, these are all basics that you have to know before jumping into the core things. Okay, so but you will not get any interview questions on this part, whatever we are discussing now. Okay, so RDBMS is the way of storing the data. Okay, so in which way, in which format you are storing the data, that is called RDBMS, guys. So most of the database softwares, okay, most of the database softwares will use the same RDBM. Means if you go to Oracle, there also the data will be stored in the form of tables only. If you go to any structured data will be stored in the form of tables only. Currently, the tabular format is a good format for the respect to, okay, workloads and all. That's how it is going to be managed, guys. So now if I ask the SQL Server definition, simply I'll add one word here. What is that word, guys? Okay, SQL Server is an RDBMS software or database software. Database is already there, right? I'll remove this database. SQL Server is an RDBMS software which will be used to store the data, to process the data, and to retrieve the data. Now is it clear, guys, what is an RDBMS? Everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Enmu.
Okay, very good, guys. So what we can do now, we'll jump into the demo, guys. Okay, what we can do now, first let me show you how SQL Server will be. Most of you people
Shanmugh,
don't
I
know
have a
how.
doubt.
Yes, yes, Tabassum.
Just now you mentioned that previously the data, the whatever the information they are storing in a tabular form, which is very lengthy, and it takes time to retrieve the data, and it takes a huge space also, right? So
Correct,
that's the reason they are dividing the data into tables, in the small tables. But
correct.
while
Yes,
dividing
I got
in
your
the
question. See, normally also, not even though now also generally you'll have big tables. Okay,
suppose in each and every small table we have the common like a
column.
student ID. So for
Correct,
each and every table we are adding one student ID for extra. So
correct.
that is also one of the it will also take more space now if we think on that side. Just I
See,
have
it's
that
like,
doubt.
for example, if you are feeling like that, so anyhow we have a booklet, right? Exam booklet. Why again we have to add our roll number? So if you don't add your roll number on the booklet, what is the use of attending the
If
appearing the exam?
pages will miss so they can't find whose paper
The,
is it. So that's the reason we will
so
add the.
here also the same thing. The data will be stored in the form of pages only. Tabassum, that will be discussed
Okay,
later.
okay,
In the
okay, sure.
SQL Server also, the data, when you create any table, at the end of the day, the table will be created on a page, like a book.
Okay.
If I don't have any reference, imagine in the same thing, if I don't have, you are thinking like I'm for every table I'm adding student ID, like which is extra, right? Why unnecessarily we have to add? Then how we are going to refer the other tables? If you
Yeah.
don't
So
want to go with adding a extra the student ID common column as a reference, then you have to use the same format, which will be more, which is having more disadvantages than this model, right?
Uh, student ID is a common table, so we can easily gather the information of particular student.
Common
So that's the
column,
reason we are giving student ID as a
correct.
common column, right?
Column, yes.
Okay.
Student
Okay.
ID or employee ID or any particular
Whatever it may
column
be,
that will
any common columns should be
common
given.
column. Yes, should be given. Then only we are able to track the other tables.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Because in the first one, there's a long table, but here we are dividing the tables in a so many tables, right? Instead of one table, we are
Correct.
dividing into 2 to 3 tables. That is also taking huge space now.
See, it's not like a space. It's
Okay.
any if you want to track all these details, anyhow you have to spend the space. Okay, space is
Yeah.
important. But the thing is,
Yeah.
processing is also important, right? So loading
Okay.
the big table is different than loading the small tables. And security is also
Okay.
important, right? For each
Yeah.
column, employee data, employee salary, everyone can't see that. So security is also very important. So storage, anyhow, if you are collecting 24 columns in a single table or if you are collecting 24 columns in three tables, the storage is same. The
Yeah.
thing is, we are not going to worry about the storage. We have to worry about the processing, how much time it is taking. It should be
Okay.
always, if a table, imagine you already worked with the big systems and all, if the table is having million rows, imagine how much while loading that 1 million rows or 10 million rows into the memory, it will take a lot of time to process the data. Also, it will take a lot of time. If you just divided those tables into smaller parts, like small tables, then it will be easy. So if any customer is having, if any user is wants to read this table, he is going to load this table only into the memory. Okay. Otherwise, if he is loading the whole table into
Okay.
the memory, the other tables don't get enough memory, so the data processing will be slow. Okay, Tabasum?
Yeah, I understood. I got the point.
Yeah. Guys, don't worry, I'm using memory and all. Don't worry, I'm going to. If you don't know the word, that means in the future we are going to discuss. As of now, memory in the sense RAM. So how the RAM and ROM will be used, guys, generally, that will be discussed. Okay, that will be discussed.
Shanmugh, can
Any
we
question?
say our DBMS is its main motto is to organize and simplify the data?
Yes, the
Yeah.
simple definition you can say like that. Okay, to
Okay.
organize the data in a simplified way, you can use like RDBMS mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, guys, are we good now? Right. So let me show you how the SQL Server will be. Sometimes most of you know how the interface will be, but I'll show you guys. Don't worry, I'm using some shortcuts. Like you will get to know all the shortcuts. My advice is just try to maintain separate nodes. Believe me, if you are getting, okay, what I can say, if you're not getting interest, or like while practicing, if you are like sleeping and all while listening the class, if you are sleeping, the best way is try to write down your own notes. Either you can type it manually, and you can also take a book and pen. You can just keep writing each and every point. That is the best way of learning, guys. So one thing is you have to write down every point, in case like if you can't concentrate, if you're able to concentrate, that will be fine. And one more thing, anyhow, Shanmukh, you said you are going to give the notes. Why again you are asking us to write the notes? Nothing to worry. I'm going to give you the notes, but again, it is going to improve your concentration skills and all. Another thing is organize the things properly. Create a separate folder, batch 57 SQL DBA. In that, create subfolders, videos. Of course, you are not going to get it to the local drives and all. Just manage it with the notes, rough notes, shortcuts. Create a separate notepad files. Why? Because lot of shortcuts we are going to discuss. Shortcuts are very important. It is going to show you lot of impact. Believe me, lot of real time people also, they don't know the shortcuts. And they will, lot of our students only will say, guys, so Shanmukh, that 8 years experienced guys, he came to me and he's asking the shortcuts, how you are opening that much quickly. So they use it to say this. So that is the difference between a normal guy and an experienced guy, guys. So if you are keep maintaining a shortcuts and all in a separate notepad at the end of the training, or when you got the job, again if you want to check all the shortcuts, it's very difficult in the whole notes. If you are maintaining a separate notepad, definitely like directly you can see the shortcuts and all. So just create a separate notepad for the shortcuts. Around 20 to 30 shortcuts we are going to discuss, guys. Very important. So what I'm doing, I'm just trying to start the SQL Server. Don't worry how to start the SQL Server and all. I'm going to show you how to open the services, how to check the services, how many services will be created when you install the SQL Server, what is the use of each service, okay? And we'll be discussed later, guys. Just to show you the SQL Server interface, okay? I'm just trying to connect to the SQL Server, how it look like and all. So I'm using one tool called Management Studio. Management Studio is a tool. Using this Management Studio, we can connect to the SQL servers. What is that, guys? Management Studio is a tool. Using this Management Studio, we can connect to the SQL server. So as a DBA, we have to install the Management Studio in the servers, guys. Okay, we have to install the Management Studio in the servers. So how to install the Management Studio? What is the use of the Management Studio? I'll show you guys. Okay, you don't worry. I'm going to show you everything that we discussed. So I'm just opening the management studio. So once it's just opened, we can connect to the SQL server. So I'll show you the interface and all, how the databases look like, how the logins, how the security look like, and how the other objects, what and all other things that you can see. Okay, it's very important to see, guys. There is a separate session on SSMS, so you don't worry, guys. Again, I am trying to connect to a database engine. What is database engine? I'll tell you. So if I want to call someone, we have around 24, 23 participants here. If I want to call Gopi, I'll just use his name Gopi, Hari, Kushi, Melody. So I have to call with their names, right? So in the same way, if I want to connect to the server, I have to give the server name. Okay, so I installed this server. So and this server is up and running. So now I am able to connect to the server using connect button. What is authentication? I'll tell you later. Okay, we have a separate security session. In the security topic, we are going to discuss what is authentication, how many types of authentications are there, what is Windows authentication, mixed mode authentication, how the logins will connect to the SQL server, how the people will connect to the SQL server will be discussed, guys. So this is how SQL Server look like. Believe me, if you got the job for the whole life, you have to work on this platform only. I mean, until you are changing to the other technologies. So this is the server name. Okay, this is the server name. And then we will have the databases. Okay, you can see if you expand this, this is the databases. Everything will call it as an object only. The object is a common word. Everything will call as an object, object, object. The tables also objects, table objects like indexes, statistics, those are also objects. Databases also objects, logins also object. The common word that we will use is object, guys. So this is like a, you can, you know that, right? You can minimize this using minus symbol, and you can maximize it by just clicking on the plus symbol. Like that, you can minimize and maximize. These are all the various folders. If you want to see the databases that are there in this particular server, you can see using this databases folder. Yes, please, Sangam.
Which SQL server we are going to
We
using?
are going to work with the latest versions.
That is 2012. Sorry, 22nd.
2019, 2022.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we are going to use the latest versions, guys, in the new year. Okay, in the new year, like Microsoft already announced SQL Server 2025. So let's see, like by that time, if 2025, like the beginning of 2025, they released a SQL Server 2025, I'll also show you the 2025 SQL Server also. So the latest version for now is 2022, SQL Server 22. We will discuss what is version and all, how many versions are there, how to identify the version. We have a separate session. In this session only we are going to discuss. So if they are releasing the 2025 by Jan or February, I'll show you the SQL Server 2025 also. I am expecting more Azure integration with a AI integration. Definitely the 2025 will be like a more AI interface. Okay, so we'll see if they are releasing before 2025 February. I'm going to show you guys. Okay, by that time February means in the mid of March and all our course will be completed. So we'll see. Before that they are releasing means I'll show you 2025 also. So these are the databases. Initially, you can see here that yellow cylindrical shape is there, right? Icon. You can see these are all the databases. You can see how many databases are there, guys, in this SQL Server. How many databases you can see? Total
6.
6. Okay, 6 databases. And like if you expand every database, again you can see some of the objects like tables. You can see, guys, don't think we are going to work with all the objects and all. As a DBA, we'll work with our own area. So we'll regularly work with the databases, tables, and on the tables we will have some objects like indexes and all. Like if you see here, there are a lot of tables. This is how you can see the tables, guys. See, address BKP, AW build version, database log, error log, invoice details, invoices, lefty, righty. So these are all the tables. And again, if you expand any table, you can see other objects like the columns of the table, any keys, primary key and all, constraints, triggers, indexes, statistics. Again, We are not going to work with keys, constraints, triggers, views, procedures, and all, guys. I told you right in the morning session. Hello, what are you doing? Hi. So in the morning session, we discussed one thing, guys. SQL Server is divided into two parts. One is development, second one is DBA. So the developers are going to work with the keys, constraints, stored procedures, triggers, views, functions. So those things and all will be taken care by the developers. The administrative part, like installing the servers, taking the backup of the databases, maintaining the servers, maintaining the databases, make sure they are up and running, automation. Okay, so high availability, all these things will be taken care by the DBS guys. Okay, so we are not going to cover any stored procedures, function, triggers, views, and all. So that comes under programming. As I promised earlier, SQL Server for DBA, we don't need any programming and all. Basic queries, one line, single line queries will be there that we are going to discuss during the course, guys. So this is how, if you expand the databases, this is how you can see the objects and all, guys. Okay. Right. And this is the security. So who can connect to the SQL Server? Nitin, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
May I ask?
that object creation will not part of the DBA activity because, like, I just want to know,
See, I
like
told
if
you
in a
object
production,
creation. That's what.
uh,
That's what. Object in the sense it can be a table, it can be a database, it can be some other things also.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
like
object creation.
in production, if they are asking like create one table with that all the details, so if that
Okay.
like index also part of that, so like automatically that index we need to create index as well, or
Correct. We have to
yeah,
create. We have to see one thing, that in case if someone is coming to you, hey Nitin, please create one table. If I asked you to create one table, what details you need, Nitin? Generally,
yeah.
what
I
details you need?
like in my system, they provide that Excel sheet which have all the
Correct,
columns,
correct.
details, constant,
So
everything they will provide.
correct. So it
And
depends
it,
upon the organization to organization. Let me complete. So it
yeah,
depends upon the organization to organization. Sometimes developers only they will create the tables. Sometimes if they don't have enough permissions, they will write the script what and all columns to be included in the table, what should be the data types. Initially if we discuss data type and all, the other guys will worry about it, what is data type, what is meant by column and all. So that's why we'll go slowly, but everything they are going to write a script, they will give it to us, we have to simply execute that script. That is the DBA responsibility in case if they don't have permissions. Otherwise, hundreds of tables will be there. That is not our day-to-day task, but depends upon the organization to organization. Shanmukh, in my organization, I am creating. Yes, in your project, maybe you have to create, but not in all the projects. Okay, so generally as a DBS, they don't create the objects, but you will have permissions. But if anyone is coming to you and if they are asking you to create a table, simply you can ask them, can you please provide the script or whatever you are saying, they are going to give an Excel sheet and they are going to mention the column names with the data types. So you can, but generally 70-80% is DBS will never create the tables, that will be taken care by the developers only.
so in
Sir, I
production
have a.
also.
May I ask?
1 minute, let me complete with Nitin. Yeah, Nitin, please.
So in production also, like because
In
I'm not
production
sure. I just
also,
want to
in
know.
production, 100%, I am sure in production also. Okay, maybe because of the security in your project, they are not allowing users to create the tables in the production, but in general, in the production also, developers only will create the objects or using, they might use an application, that application will connect to the SQL server. So using that application they can create the objects like tables. In the production also, 100% in the production also, generally DBS will not be involved in creating the tables and all, that will be taken. Indexes, we are going to take care of it. Indexes, I'll tell you what is index and all. You know that for an current, as of now, you have an idea what is index and all, but
Yeah.
others don't know, right? So we have a performance tuning class. So there we are going to discuss what is index, how to create the indexes we have to create, but the tables, we are not responsible to create the tables. But if your project is asking, demanding, that you have to do. Okay. Yeah. Nitin. Next, Farooq. Yes, please.
Sir, uh, when you talk about the developer, okay, normally we listen, I heard from my friends that there are mainly two roles in an organization. One is developer and other is DBA.
Correct.
And there is one more role that is called the database developer. Now, please explain what is the role of database
Yeah,
developer,
I'll tell
how
you.
it is
Very
different, sir, how it is different from the application developer.
good, good question. See, so there is no role of database developer actually. That is called application developer. Okay, application developer in the sense you should know programming, plus you should know the DBA tasks also. Means like you know what developer will do, you know what DBA will do. A database developer will do both the things. Developer plus DBA is called a database developer. Very simple. Developer plus DBA means you have to create the objects, you have to create the other things and all, you have to write the code, you have to write the logic and all. And administration side, you have to install the servers, you have to take the backups, you have to restore the backups, you have to give the permissions, you have to do the patchings, you have to do the maintenance. So developer plus DBA is called database developer or application developer or app DBA. We'll call it as app DBA. App DBA in the sense what application has to take care, DBA side also has to take care. App DBA is very demanding, guys. Very demanding. Believe me, developers don't know DBA, DBAs don't know development. So if you know both, like your profile is like a out of maybe 200, 300 people, one guy will have this kind of knowledge. You are proficient in the development, you are proficient in the DBA also. So they can like generally in a single candidate, companies can't get these two technologies. So if you are having both, then definitely your profile is a valuable profile and you will have a lot of weightage. Clear, Farooq, now?
Sure, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sure.
for SQL developer, only SQL language is enough.
See, depends again, Anil. Sorry, I forgot about your name. Okay.
Sharat.
So Sharath, yeah, Sharath, thank you. So it depends upon the particular project. With only nowadays, developers can't survive with a single language, Sharath. Okay, so they also again like how we are having a pressure like to learn multiple skills. So, but SQL is a very good skill. In lot of ways, we are going to use SQL, guys. Lot of applications and all will use SQL. SQL is very excellent, okay, programming language. So, but again, they are also having a pressure like they have to learn Python and also for the automation, PowerShell and all they have to learn. So all these things, okay. But again, with the SQL is enough for the developers. But because of that, like you know, right, how the market is, so people are keep learning minimum 2, 3 technologies. So that's why. But SQL is enough generally, Sharath. Okay. Yes, Sangam, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shanmugh, are we going to use Power BI in SQL?
We are no, we are not going to use any Power BI and all.
Okay, all right.
To design Power BI reports, you need SQL. Okay. DBA side, from our side, as a DBA, you are not going to use any Power BI. But for the Power BI reports, to generate Power BI reports, you need SQL. For Power BI also, SQL is the main component. But generally, DBS, we don't use Power BI and all. We are not going to deal with the Power BI and all.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Questions, guys?
Shamrock. So
Yes, yes,
you're
please.
gonna show us how to use PowerShell and just a bit of it or no?
No, to be honest, no, B. So, like, so I'm not going to create again a confusion. Okay. So, if you are proficient in SQL DBA, normal, regular, basic PowerShell scripts and all, you will have an idea like what that PowerShell script. Nowadays, scripting is like a kind of a what I can say. You can easily understand what it is doing, what that particular code is doing by just looking at the code. So again, PowerShell in some companies they might use, in some companies they might not use. So it depends upon the organization to organization. So we are not going to discuss any PowerShell or not even PowerShell basics also. Okay, so like it depends on your interest. You can learn the PowerShell and all. Just basic PowerShell to edit. Generally, we will use PowerShell for the automation purpose and all, like patchings and failover, failbacks. So for this purpose, we will use PowerShell, guys. So, but again, it's not mandatory to learn the PowerShell and all. Still, in your project, if it is demanding or if you are using PowerShell in some of the tasks, okay, then you can just learn at least basic PowerShell and all. Okay, B?
Yes, thank you.
So, yeah. So what about Linux Melody? So guys, generally SQL Server will install on the Windows operating system, and in the latest versions like 2019, 2017 onwards, we can install SQL Server on the Linux machines also. But not even 1%, okay, not even 1% across the globe are you not using this Linux with SQL. So that is still what I can say. It has to be improved a lot. Maybe in future versions, okay, they might extend completely to the Linux. But for now, believe me, not even 1%. If you go to interviews also, out of 500 interviews, one or two guys will ask, do you know Linux with SQL? So not required. Okay, Linux 99.9999 percentage everyone is using Windows, okay, SQL, guys. So like they are not installing SQL Server on Linux for now. Maybe very rarely you can see such kind of projects. So that's how it will be. Okay,
Hi,
Melody.
hi, Sanmukh.
Yes, Nitin, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Sanmukh, so just want to know, like that you will explain that patching activity on
Of
server
course,
and
of
that
course, of
migration also.
Of course. See, I'll tell you the main components, concepts that we are going to discuss, guys. Main concepts. Lot of other small concepts also we'll discuss, but these
Yeah,
are the main components. Initially, we'll start with the installations. Installations in the sense, first we'll create virtual machines, we'll install the Windows servers. On top of that, we'll install SQL Server. Like in the organization, how we are going to install the SQL Server, in the same way we are going to install it in our practice. So we'll start with the installations first. Then we'll go with the patchings. How to patch the servers, what is meant by patching, how many types of patches are there, how many types of updates are there. Then we'll go with the patchings. After that, we'll go with the database creation, how to create the database, in how many ways we can create the database, what is a file, what is a file group, how the data will be stored physically, how the data will be stored logically, what is the data file architecture, what is the log file architecture, what is a page, what is an extent. So all the database internals will be discussed. And after that, we'll discuss the backups restores, guys. The sorry, after that we'll go with the security, creating the logins, giving permissions on a server level, giving permissions on a database level, giving permissions on a table level. So these things will be discussed, and creating the roles. So guys, these are all the terminologies. Don't worry. Okay, everything will be discussed. But I'm just giving the course content, what and all things we are going to discuss. And then we are also going to discuss the security, we discussed it, right? The safety. Then backups, we are going to discuss how to take the backups, how many backups we can take, how to restore the database, how to recover the database, the recovery models of the database will be discussed. Then we'll jump to automation. Okay, creating the jobs, creating the maintenance plans, creating the database mail, setting up the database mail, sending emails. If something is not working, how to send an email using SQL Server, how to get an email using the alerting system, that will be discussed. Then we'll start discussing the advanced concepts like upgradation. Then migration will discuss. Then we'll jump into the high availability concepts. Before that, we'll set up the this one, Active Directory. So what is an Active Directory? What is the domain? How it will be used? How to add the machines into the domain will be discussed. Then we'll start with the HADR concept. What is HA? What is high availability? What is disaster recovery? How many solutions are there? Okay. Then we'll start with the log shipping. What is log shipping? The architecture of log shipping, how it will work, how to set up, what are the common issues that we'll face, what are the common interview questions that we are going to get. Log shipping, then mirroring, the same thing, the same points, then replication, then Windows Server failover cluster. Others, they will not show you Windows cluster, guys. Simply they will set up Windows cluster in the offline, and the SQL cluster they will show you. But I'll show you the Windows cluster. That will be done by the Windows team actually in the organization. And I'll show you the SQL cluster, and we'll discuss always on. And then finally we'll discuss performance tuning. These are the main topics. If you feel anything is there, will be discussed. These are all like normal small things and all that will be covered in between the topics, guys. Okay, once that is finished, like at the end of the SQL DBA classes, we will have a speaker series, and then final class will be like a resume preparation, how to prepare the resume, what HRs will ask, what technical team will ask, like general question, how many team members are there in your team, what is the biggest database size, where is your office located, how many employees are there, what is your employee ID, what is your email ID, official email ID. So these are some common questions that you cannot answer, okay, directly, like you don't know. They will ask simply what is the biggest database size you handle till now. Some people, believe me, some people will tell 1 GB. If you the 30 minutes interview, the 40 minutes interview, the 1 hour interview went well, the last question he asked, what is the biggest database size you handled? Someone said 1 GB. Chalo, let you know, the HR will call you. That's it. Done. Your 1 hour is like, even though you have a conceptual knowledge, if you don't know these things, what to answer, what is your team size? Some people will tell one, two, three, four. Some people will tell 60 members. 100 members are there in my team. DBS will never be like a 100 members team, guys. Hardly 8 to 10 or 15. Worst case, it will be 20 if it is a supporting, if you are supporting multiple projects or shared projects and all. So all these things, how to answer these questions and all, will be discussed at the end of the SQL DBA session. After that, Azure SQL will start. Okay.
Sir,
This is the
sir,
content. Yes.
one question, please.
Yes, yes,
The
please.
questions, the question sessions went very long, but I have a one question, sir. May I
Please,
ask?
please, you can ask Farooq. Are you able to hear
Sir,
me, Farooq?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes,
what
please.
is the,
Please continue.
uh, if we compare the market with reference to the Oracle, what do you say, being your expertise in database field, whether the SQL Server is more using in the world or the Oracle is more using? And what about the similar the job analytics? More jobs are available for SQL or Oracle, sir?
See, I'll tell you one thing, very good question, Farooq. First thing, let's discuss which technology we can learn easily. I'll tell you. Okay. See, if you go with the Oracle, you have to learn the operating system also. OS, Linux, you have to learn, and then you have to learn Oracle also. And in the Oracle, you know that maybe I don't know whether, I guess you have an idea of Oracle. Okay. Again, in the Oracle, we have a lot of things are there like rack and all. There are a lot of different
Yes,
things.
sir, I have idea.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that's how, see, in the market, if you compare the market, that's how you have to learn. But SQL, already you are working with the laptops since 5 years, 6 years. You're all having an experience in handling the laptops. So laptops in the sense operating system, Windows operating system, you know how it will work. So operating system side, no need to learn separately. Okay. Anyhow, you have an experience, hands-on experience in managing the laptop and all operating system, the Windows operating system and all. So you are going to learn SQL DBA, just SQL DBA. Of course, other tasks will learn, but it's not so difficult when compared to Oracle. So this is how it will be said. The learning wise, SQL is easy to learn, whereas Oracle is difficult to learn, and that too you have to learn OS also in the Oracle side. Right. Market wise, I can say that if you compare SQL and Oracle, I am not saying this point as I am a DBA, SQL DBA especially. I like other database technologies also. Believe me, SQL is having major share when compared to Oracle, guys. SQL is having major share in the database market. In the database market, SQL is having major share when compared to Oracle. So you can see there will be one chart also, guys. What is the chart? I'm not getting that word exactly. Guys, can anyone help me to recollect that word? Something charts will be there. Mm, If you watch any of my previous videos, I use it to show you that report. Mm,
The
Right.
Gartner chart.
I'll just
Gartner chart.
sorry, sorry.
The Gartner chart.
Gartner report. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, Gartner report. Okay, if you just go and check Shanmukh as you're a SQL DBA, right? So, Harishankar, it's not like if MySQL is using 42 percentage, do you think other database softwares are using the remaining 60 percentage or 58 percentage? So when compared to all the
As
database technologies, okay, SQL is the highest one till now. Of course, nowadays Postgres started, like, guys, it's also started a major share, but for now, out of these are all like SQL, MS SQL, MySQL, Oracle, are like a kind of batchmates. Okay, so yes, MySQL is also having a share, but again, out of all these database softwares, MS SQL is having a major share. Okay, so MS SQL is having a major share in the database industry. First MS SQL, then Oracle, then MySQL, then other databases will come into the picture, guys. Okay, so let me show you this Gartner report. So it's not like Shanmukh, you are a SQL DBA, right? So you are saying something. So can you show me any proof? Okay, so you can see here, if you go and check the Gartner report, so which is going to pull the data based on the statistics and all, based on the polls and all. So it is going to pull the data, guys. So who is the, this is not for that particular, okay, 1 minute, let me show you for databases. This is the one. So it was divided into 4 parts, guys. Leaders, shit, why we are not getting this website? This website is not opening. But generally, if you see here, if you are able to see here, you can see on top Microsoft is there, then Oracle is there. So these are like 4 parts of that quadrant. So there you can see, guys. There you can see. I'll show you the. Let me check this one if we are able to open this or not. Yeah. This is also not related to the database. This is related to cloud technologies. So like the databases, Gartner report will be there, guys. In that you can see, okay, the SQL is the leader. Okay, the SQL is the leader. Okay, in the database technologies, guys. And then the Oracle will come. Then MySQL, NoSQL. This is how the uh, market share. Okay, for now, not Oracle Melody. So for now also SQL is the leader. MS SQL. Okay, so you can just go and check the Gartner report, guys. Based on the Gartner report, you will get to know. So these are all the main things when you compare. Okay, so which one you can learn means you can manage SQL Server. If you learn the SQL Server completely with the real-time setup and all in your laptop, you can even manage up to 8 years experience also. Even though you don't have hands-on, still you can manage up to 8 years also. You can manage 10 years also. You have to add advanced performance tuning. That's it. But whereas Oracle is not like that. Again, you should learn the programming and all. You should know the lot of queries and all. So that's how it will be. So it's not like it is easy. So you can learn MS SQL. Depends on the market share also, I'm telling. So now also still SQL is leading. At least 1-2% difference will be there between SQL and Oracle, guys. So that's how it will be managed. Okay. Yeah. Questions, guys?
Yes, Shanmukh. So as we most of industry they are using SQL Server, right? So they have to maintain physical servers as well, right? Data
Correct.
warehouse and all these things.
Hmm.
So uh, according to the coming to the future, everyone is going to migrate to cloud. So what is the future of the SQL Server? How
So
many it's going to
if you
be
attended,
continue? How
see,
many years?
I remember this we have already discussed in the morning session. But again, I'm saying, maybe some new people joined. Again, I'm saying, guys, don't worry about the future, but again, use this technology as a landing gear into the IT. Okay, use this technology as a landing gear into the IT. Once you jumped into this IT, okay, of course, if you're already working as an IT, that will be good. But for others, I'm saying it is easy. First of all, you can manage the fake experience also without taking any support from outside. Okay, other technologies you have to take the support continuously. You have to depend on the particular trainer and all. But SQL DB, if you learn it completely, you no need to depend on anyone, guys. You can alone manage the work beginning, starting from the day one onwards. Starting from the day one onwards, you can alone manage the work and all. First thing. Second thing, once we are adding cloud also, I don't know why you are still worrying. The others, everyone is worrying. As we have added cloud, I am not only discussing the on-premises. After this, Azure SQL also will be there. So for the next 10 years, so nothing to worry if you are having Azure SQL in your hand. Once you started working after 2 3 years, guys, believe me, okay, I mean, definitely because of that circumstances and all, or because of that project and all, definitely you will learn another technology. So I can say that you can extend your skill set towards cloud. Okay, as we are familiar, if you completed this Azure SQL also, you will be somewhat familiar with Azure, right? So you can extend your career towards the cloud, like a cloud engineer, or like a SRE, site reliability engineer, or DevOps engineer, or this one, Azure data engineer. So like that you can try. If you don't try also, nothing will happen. Happily for the next 10 15 years, I am sure. Again, guys, you have to keep in mind one thing: the leaders will keep on changing based on the features they are introducing, right? The leaders will keep on changing based on the features. So again, in the Microsoft, if they are introducing any new feature in future versions, definitely again Microsoft will be the leader. And don't worry, we discussed in the morning session that about this model, right? Swiggy and on-premises, and difference between on-premises and difference between cloud and all. So even though people are choosing the cloud, same in the EAS model, same on-premises kind of setup will be there. So even though it is jumping into the cloud, nothing will happen to your DBA position. But for the IT side, you have to always learn extra technologies. For the safe side, you will be in the safe zone always. Okay, so that is how it is going to work. Clear?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, guys, any questions you can ask me? Otherwise, we can take a break and then we'll come back and then we'll discuss this. Okay, so this is your what I can say. The versions initially we'll start with the versions and slowly we'll discuss SQL versions, Windows versions, what is this bill number and all, how to identify the bill number, different types of editions. So we'll be discussing slowly and then, okay, we'll wrap it up. So take a break, come back after 10 minutes and we'll continue the discussion, guys. Okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me record this. Okay. So let's start with the SQL versions, guys. Okay. So initially we'll discuss with the SQL versions, then Windows Server versions, and then editions. So all these things will be covered slowly. First, let's discuss the version. What is a version, guys? General definition. What is a version? You can see on the screen. You can just use that definition also. You can tell the definition also. What is a version?
Updated softwares.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Hmm. So version is nothing but an updated software is called a version, guys. Okay. An updated software is called a version. Generally, if you see here, an updated software is called a version. For example, now we are using Android, right? And let's go with this example, simple example. So when we started using these laptops and all, earlier, maybe you might work with the Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, Windows 11. Currently, we are using Windows 11 version, right? So this is the version, guys. Version is nothing but an updated software copy is called a version. So if you go to Android, earlier we have Android. There are different versions. Android KitKat, Android Oreo, Android Marshmallow, Android. The devices now you can see 11 and all, right? In the same way, like these are all the versions, guys. So if you know, if I ask Windows 7, you can easily tell, okay, Windows 7 is an old operating system. Windows 8 is an old operating system. Now we are using Windows 10 or Windows 11. You can easily identify Windows 7 in the sense maybe 15 years back, 10 years back, worst case 15 years back. Windows 8 years in the sense 10 years back. Okay, so since 5 years we are using Windows 10, Windows 11. Since 2-3 years we started using Windows 11 and all. So these are all the versions, guys. In the SQL Server also we have versions. Initially, actually, the SQL Server was designed by. Can anyone tell me, guys? Initially, initially it's not Microsoft product, guys.
Sybase.
It was designed by Sybase. Very good. Okay. It was designed by Sybase in the 1980s, 80s or 70s, somewhere, 80s, I guess. So initially it was this logic, the database logic was designed by the Sybase. Still we have Sybase in the market. So what they did is like Microsoft took over this logic from Sybase. Of course, they had some deal and all. They just took over this logic from the Sybase. They started designing its own database technology called MS SQL DB, Microsoft SQL Server database. Okay, so from 90s onwards, it started releasing the versions, guys. So 90s, 97. Okay, before that we have version 93 also, but it was not completely like what I can say a paid version kind of thing. It was not a manufactured copy, just they released normally. So 1997 onwards, 1997 onwards, Microsoft is started selling the Microsoft database software publicly, guys. So 97 is one version. After that, they introduced SQL Server 2000, guys. In the year of 2000, if I mentioned 2000 in the sense they released in the year of 2000. So they are going to release 2025 next year. So the number always will tell you when it was released. Believe me, SQL Server 2000 shows a lot of impact on the database industry, guys. Till then, database means only queries, coding, and all. But from 2000 onwards, Microsoft introduced GUI in the database. Microsoft is meant for GUI because of Microsoft only. Everyone is able to handle the laptops. Why? Because everything is GUI. What is this GUI, guys? Graphical user interface. If I want to create a new folder, right click, I can choose new and new folder I can create. Automatically, it will be created on my desktop. But believe me, if you want to create the same new folder in the Linux and all, you have to run one command. So it's easy. I don't know what command we have to use. Here also, when you're trying to create a new folder, what this actual GUI, graphical user interface, will do, it will convert your actions into the command. Actually, Windows don't know how to create a new folder. It just understand the commands that you are giving. But you don't know what command you have to give to create a new folder, and you don't know what command you have to give to rename it to batch 57. Right? But the GUI interface will help you to convert your actions into the command. So when I am selecting right click and when I am selecting refresh, in the back end, one query will run that will refresh the system. I don't know what is the query to refresh the system. I'll simply right click and I'll choose refresh. That's it. But in the back end, it don't understand whether you selected refresh or something. If you select this option, in the back end, refresh query will run. That query will refresh the system actually. In the same way, to create a new folder, I'll simply go like this, new and folder or shortcut or Word document or whatever text document, I'll simply select. But when you select for this action, in the backend, one command will run, guys. And now I'm just renaming this. For this action also, one command will run. I'm hitting enter now, one command will run, then only the file will be renamed. And I'm deleting this, selecting these two, delete button or right click delete. I'm deleting this using this delete button, using this graphical. You can see here, right click, you can see lot of options. Okay, so this is called graphical user interface. So Windows don't understand GUI. You don't understand CUI, command user interface. But using this interface, the action that you are doing will be converted into command. That command will be executed at the end of the day. So what Microsoft did is, till then, the database means only commands, guys. If you want to handle the databases, you should know commands only, you should learn commands only. Till then, till SQL Server 2000. But from 2000 onwards, Microsoft completely changed the face of the database with the help of GUI interface. So everyone, a common man also is able to learn the database easily with the help of GUI interface, graphical user interface. Why a lot of people will choose the, SQL Server, guys? Because of the GUI feature. This GUI will help you to convert your actions into the command. If you want to take the backup, right click and you can choose the backup here. Right click on the database, tasks, backup you can choose. You can give the file name and click OK. With a single click, you can take the backup. But to take the backup, in case using command, see for example, now see what command it will run. I'm just scripting out this action. So now you can see the command that is going to run when you click OK. Okay, I'm not clicking OK now, I'm just clicking cancel. See, I'm just using, okay, I just clicked on that command, that script. See, this is the command. If you want to take the backup, you have to write this command. But is it possible to remember this command, guys? In the first day itself, if I told you, hey, this is the command to take the backup, so you feel like it's a difficult thing. But using the GUI interface, no need to learn any commands. Simply you can choose the option, right click, tasks, backup. This is just an example I am saying. For that every action, there will be a command. The GUI interface will help you to convert that actions into the command. Now I just selected right click, tasks, backup. So automatically when I click OK, this command will run. So why to remember the backup query now? No need to remember, right? Simply we can take using GUI. So common man also can easily learn because of that GUI feature, guys. So Microsoft introduced GUI feature, okay, in the from the SQL Server 2000 onwards, right? So then onwards, not only GUI feature, lot of other features also introduced by Microsoft. From then onwards, slowly it started taking the major share in the database industry. Till then, Oracle is the famous one. During that time, Sybase Oracle is the famous one. But slowly it started grabbing the market share, and like now also, and I mean to say, major share is there for SQL Server. Okay, when compared to Oracle and all, at least 1 2 percentage major share is there for SQL Server. So SQL Server 2000 actually changed the face of the database industry, guys. After that, after 5 years, Microsoft released SQL Server 2005 version. All the versions you have to keep in mind, and they should be on tip of your tongue. The first question in the interview will be on what versions you work till now. That is your first question in the interview. Till now, and what are currently in your project, what and all versions you are using. So that is the first question, guys. So you have to remember all these versions. So they should be on tip of your tongue. These are the versions we have till now. We have to add SQL 2022 also. SQL Server 2000. I'll tell you what is this 8.080, 9.090, and 10.0 100. I'll tell you what is these numbers. Don't worry. After 5 years of 2000, they introduced 2005. This is also a very good version, guys. Still, people are using SQL Server 2005 in their projects. For every product, there will be a validity called warranty. So this is also software, guys. When you are using, generally, if iPhone is releasing, Apple is releasing any new version of iPhone, it will stop supporting older versions. Why, guys? Why it will stop supporting older versions and all? It will not support older versions. iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 7, it will not support. Why? Every year, one, or every 2 years, one support, they are going to, right, take back. So if you go and check iPhone 4 and 5, they are not going to support. Some of the features like WhatsApp and all will not work properly on the older versions of iPhone. Why they will stop supporting, guys? Any idea?
Because regarding their business purpose, if they are
Correct.
go on the provide servicing to the old versions, so new phones or versions they can't able to buy because all the features are available in old versions, and why they need to buy.
Correct.
They need to-
Very
yeah.
good. So that is a marketing strategy, guys. So not all people will buy iPhone 16, right? When it is introduced, immediately they don't throw the phones in their hands and they'll start buying iPhone 16 or 17. Still, people will use because of the constraints, because of the money, something. Okay, they will still use the old phones only. If you are still supporting the old phones, so who will buy the new phones? How the industry will be like? It will grow. How the numbers will grow for the new versions and all? So they will stop supporting the older versions, guys. SQL Server is also same like that only. For every SQL version, there will be a support period where we can see that if you go and check this website, SQL Server builds.blogspot.com. This is actually a blogspot. Generally, we will use this to see the versions, updates, and all. Every version will have a support period. Okay, see here. 6.0, 6.5, 7.0, 2000. You can see before that we used to call this as 6.0, 6.5, 6, 7.0 and all from 2000 onwards. If you see here, see, release date was 30th November 2000 and support end date 2008, means after 8 years Microsoft stopped supporting SQL Server 2000. Extended support, ext end date means extended end date. Extended support end date is like from 2008 to again 5 years it was supported, means in 2013 it was stopped, okay, supporting SQL Server 2000. If you go and check, 2011 was support end date and extended support was like 2016, right? If you go and see the other versions also, 2008, 2014 and 2019. So Shanmukh, what is the support? How the Microsoft will give support, Shanmukh? So support in the sense, if you have any issues, you bought one phone. If you have an issue with that particular phone, you will call to the customer care. If it is an iPhone a Samsung, you will call to Samsung customer care. If it is a new phone, if it is in warranty, first you will call to Samsung customer care only, right? Instead of going to the repair shop, you will call to customer care and you will ask. This is the thing. So Microsoft is also going to do the same support. There are a lot of issues where the DBA team can't solve. In every organization, if you are using Microsoft SQL Server, there will be a DBA team, right? Sometimes they can't solve the issues, or that might be a bug kind of thing. So, what it will do, Microsoft, if you call to Microsoft as you paid lot of money to the SQL Server, if you call to Microsoft, then also you have to pay the money. Like per hour, you have to pay $300. That is the old rate. I don't know what is the new rate and all. Means if you are taking support from Microsoft for 1 hour, you have to pay $300, which will be 25,000 in the Indian currency for 1 hour support. For 1 hour support, not for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year. Like that, how many hours the Microsoft engineers are spending on your issue, that many hours your company has to pay bill to the Microsoft. So they will stop supporting, guys. They will stop supporting in the sense, if you have any issue with the 2008, if you call to Microsoft, they will simply tell you, hey, the extended support is also over for this 2008. Sorry, we can't support. So you cannot, they are not going to give you any kind of support for the older versions. And even they don't release any updates also, like service packs, cumulative updates. They don't even release the updates also. What is service pack, what is cumulative update, I'll tell you, don't worry. Okay, so this is called support and extended support. Generally for every version they will give 8 years. Okay, 6 to 8 years they will give the support date, and extra 5 years they will add as an extended support. If you have to pay extra money to get the extended support, after that, if you are ready to pay extra money also, they don't support you. That is called extended support and support, guys. Is it clear, everyone? Extended support means a natural warranty. Either it is 1 year, 2 years, you will get natural warranty, right? That is normal warranty. We'll have extended warranty also will be there, right? Apart from your 2 years warranty, if you pay some little amount extra, you will get a 3 years or 4 years warranty. This is also same. So this is support end date into for 2008 version. It will be completed in 2014. If you pay extra money, they will support till 2019. But if you are still, you can use it, guys. No one will stop you. You already bought this product. You can still use it. But Microsoft is not going to give you any support, and Microsoft is not going to release any kind of updates. So in case of any attacks, okay, are there, it will be difficult to manage the older versions. Okay, why? Because Microsoft will not release any security updates and all, any patchings and all, it will not release. So it's risky to you. So if they stopped supporting, what you will do? Definitely you will install the new version, right? So that is a marketing strategy, guys. So these are all the different versions we have in SQL Server. 2000, 2005, 2008. In the year of 2008, they released this version. 8R2, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2017, and the latest version is SQL Server 2020-22, guys. SQL Server 2022 is the latest version. Of course, coming version will be SQL Server 2025 also. Okay, it's already announced. Microsoft already announced. So the latest version is 2025 17.0 and 170. I'll tell you what is 17.0. These are all the version numbers we can easily remember, like version numbers like Oracle 7, Oracle 8, Oracle like 10, yeah, 10C, something is there, right? Like that. Okay, Windows 7, Windows 8 is there, right? Like that, the numbers will be. If you install 2000, it will be 8.08.
Build number.
Okay. Yeah, bill number. I'll tell you what is bill number and all. Okay, so just to remember, you have to remember these values. You have to remember these versions also. Very important. Tomorrow morning, I'll ask you guys. You have to type the answers, direct message to me. You cannot copy from others and all. Just take a snip of it, and tomorrow morning, okay, I'll ask you the versions of SQL Server. You should be able to tell the versions of SQL Server, guys. So 2000 started with the commercial versions started from 2000, 2005, 8, 8R2. R2 means release 2. Okay, second time they released in the same year, 2008. Then 12, SQL Server 2012, SQL Server 2014, then SQL Server 2016, then 17, then 19, then 22. So currently, which is SQL Server 2025, guys. Questions? Any questions, doubts? So take a snip of it, guys. Tomorrow morning I'll ask you. Okay. So just try to remember these are very important versions on a regular basis. Will so Shanmukh, in the organization they are going to use everything. So depends on the projects, guys. The answer is yes. We are still using SQL Server 2000 to 2022. Still we are using all the versions. Don't think for the same application. We are supporting multiple applications, multiple projects. So some of them are old applications called legacy applications. For legacy applications, we are still using 2000, 2000. Why? Because Shanmukh, why you are still using the old versions? In the interest also, if you tell 2005, why you are still using 2005? There is no support for 2005, right? How you are going to convince your customer then? How you are going to convince the interviewer? We are still using 2000. We are still using 2005. Then how you are going to convince? If he is saying like there is no support, how you are still using? I told you, right? For every
It might
database,
be.
there will be internal applications. Applications sometimes can generate revenue. They cannot generate revenue as per rules or as per the agreement. They have to make sure the application is up and running. So if it is an older version of application, if it is a legacy application, it might not support with the latest versions of SQL Server. The application also should support the database, guys. It's not like any application I can give any database. No, that is called compatibility. What is compatibility, guys? Very simple example. Generally, we'll use clothes when we are childhood. The small clothes we will wear. By that time, based on our height, based on our physical appearance, we are going to use those clothes. Can you use the same clothes now, guys? Is it possible? The clothes that you used at the age of 5 years, 6 years, can you use the same clothes now?
No.
No. Why? Because,
No company.
yes, that time,
Outdated.
based on the height, based on your particular, whatever say, measurements and all, that time you used small dresses. You wear small dresses and all. Correct, Melody. So now, totally different, right? So you are grown up. Now you are 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet and all. So now you don't know that. Your parents don't know how much height you will be in the future. For the next 10 years or 20 years, they cannot predict how much height you will get, like the measurements and all. We cannot predict. So even SQL Server 2000, 2005 also, okay, in future there might be different, okay, applications will come. So they are going to support. So we cannot predict what kind of applications will be there. So generally older versions, okay, what happened, they cannot support the new applications and all. So the new application, the legacy applications that you are using, they might support only 2000 or 2005 or 2008. So why we are still using? Because of the agreement, because of the contract, we have to maintain the legacy applications. They are not ready to upgrade their environment because they are not getting any revenue. There is no meaning of spending money on the like zero revenue applications and all. For naam ke vaste, just for the name sake, the applications has to up and running. So that's why, okay, we are still managing the older versions. Not only we, you can also see some of them are using 2005, 2008, 8R to 12. Some of them can use 8, 8R to 12, 14. Some of them can use 14, 16, 17, 19, 22. Some of them can use 12, 14, 16, 17, 19. So depends upon their requirements. they can use various versions of all these SQL servers, guys. Clear, everyone? Questions, doubts? Any questions, guys? So these are all the versions that you have to keep in mind. Yes, please. Yes, yes.
So
Nitin.
when we upgrade the version, so that object will support new version or some complex some issue will come for object also. Like if
It will support. It will support.
it will support.
It will support. Depends upon the upgradation. Okay, so generally there are various like ways are there. Different types of upgradations are there. In place upgradation, side by side migration. So there are challenges, but yes, it will support. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
No,
Are we good?
Shanmugh.
Okay, thank you, Tabassum. Guys, what about others? Any questions, any doubts? Is it clear? Any like any suggestions that you want to give? Going too slow, going too fast? Anything if you want to give any suggestions also, most welcome, guys.
Sharon,
Yeah, B.
so you're saying that legacy applications are only used internally, they're not public facing?
Your voice is a little low, B.
I was asking that, so legacy applications are only used internally, they're not public facing.
So legacy applications are?
They are used internally in the company only.
Yes. Legacy applications will use only like internally. Generally, it will be that doesn't mean only company in the company or internally will use. There might be some old applications also. The like public applications also will be there. Some mostly, but legacy applications in the sense will use internally only.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys? If no questions, will you cover yes, Tabassum, I'm going to cover DBMail. TDE, I'll show you. I'll try to. Okay, we'll discuss the TDE, but again, depends on the particular things and all. But yes, DBMail, of course, it's very important. I'll show you. Nothing to worry about the DBMail.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Is SQL, is SQL Server will support only Microsoft products or any other applications also like Java?
SQL Server support only Microsoft products.
Okay, the Microsoft technologies like .NET only or any other programming
Yes,
language?
other applications also it will support. Other
Right.
applications also it will support.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you guys. That's it for now. Okay. So we'll connect tomorrow at
So
7 a.m.
just
IST.
one more question.
Yes, Nitin.
Actually, I faced that situation. So, like that, when we are doing that migration to new server, like 2019 or 2022, so that maybe you are aware of that 2025. So, if we are migrating into Azure or in on-prem server, so we face some latency in Azure server. So, like what you suggested, like
I will not
it's
suggest anything at this point, Nitin. Seriously. Why?
it,
Because see, as a trainer, it's my responsibility to make sure all are on the same bench. We can use
okay.
different, as these are the demo classes and people
Yeah,
are non-technical background. They will worry that why these people are like using different wording and all technologies and all. Lot of things. So we have lot many days to discuss all these things. So slowly you'll get to know. At this moment, I'll not suggest anything. Slow,
yeah.
we'll be discussed, but don't worry, we'll
Yeah,
be discussed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, few questions wantedly I'll not cover because I have to keep in mind of the others like the level of knowledge and all I have to keep in mind. So I have to cover accordingly. But whatever doubts you have, definitely I'm going to cover at every point. So if it is really necessary to discuss that point, I'll cover there itself. If I feel there is a separate concept, we are going to spend a lot of time on that. I'm going to cover all those things that time. So wantedly, I will postpone few things because of the, like I told you, right? Non-technical people, they have to feel that this is a simple technology, at least to land. So once they started, okay, working on it, so they'll slowly get to know all these things and all. So as a trainer, I have to like make sure to build the confidence. Okay, so that's why wantedly few things I'll postpone it, but definitely I'm going to cover it. Don't worry.
SQL Server 2025 is going to release or already released?
No, they just announced it has to be released. They announced that 2025 is going to come, but when it is going to come, they have to again they haven't yet released, but they just released the news till now.
That means up to 2022 will be released.
Yes. Okay, guys, we are good.
In an interview, they will ask anything like what feature it is going on from 2000 something 2019 any features you know.
How come, Madhu? How come? That is like we cannot guess, but again they will give some hints and all. If you just go and search about 2025, they will give some hints. They don't ask what will be the new features in 2025. Tell me, Madhu. I don't know how can we predict.
No, what features in 2012 or 2016
That will be discussed. That will be discussed. Don't worry. That will be discussed.
like that they will ask in
Yeah, yeah, that will be. Then sometimes they might ask you what is the difference between 19 and 2022, 17 and 19. Yeah, that will be discussed. But not for every version. What is the difference between 2000 and 2005? So that not very important features and all will be discussed. Okay. Right. So thank you guys. That's it for now. Okay, if you have any questions, okay, you can ping me in the WhatsApp, and I hope everyone is having my number. If it is first class, and again one more quick update, we have already uploaded that session in the YouTube, so you can go to YouTube SOS University, and you can go to playlist, or you can go to live section, and you can see morning class. It's already updated, and this class also currently going on. So morning class MS SQL DBA batch 57 class 1. You can also go to playlists, and you can see batch 57 playlist. Okay, batch 57 MS SQL DBA playlist. You can just go on. Please subscribe. Again, I'm requesting, please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. You will get immediate notification once the video and recording is ready. But don't expect all the things will be uploaded in the playlist. Only few videos, okay, that I'm going to upload. So remaining, you are going to get it to your direct Google Drive account, guys. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for now. We'll disperse for now, and we'll connect tomorrow morning 7 a.m. IST. For US people, it will be tonight 8:30 EST. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you all. Bye. Good day. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.